Here's a quick review on percents, decimals, and fractions. Just a very small little bit, couple little quick things to think about or to remind yourself how this works. 50%, well, percent means out of 100. In other words, 50 out of 100. 50% is equal to that. Now, 50 divided by 100, we can reduce that as a fraction to 1/2. And a lot of you might be familiar with that. 50% is the same thing as saying 1/2. Is the same thing as saying 0.5. In other words, if you move the decimal over 2 spaces, you get 0.5. 0.50, which you can write as 0.5. Let's take a look at a different example. What if you have the decimal given to start? Well, you can move this over 2 spaces, and that will give you 80%. So 0.8 is the same as 80%. That moved to the right. Here, the decimal moved to the left. How about as a fraction? Well, 0.8 is the same thing as saying 8/10. 8/10 can also be reduced as a fraction to 4/5. And we'll use our calculator here a little bit. What is 15%? So the question is, what is 15% of 70? 15%, you can write as 0.15. Of 70 is the same thing as multiplying by 70. So I'm going to take my calculator here. I've got 0.15 times 70. You get 10.5. So what is 15% of 70? 10.5 is. Last question here is 5 is what percent of 10? Now, because the is in the middle of the sentence, I'm going to watch what happens. You have 5 is, and now you've got the question, what percent of 10? Okay, now I'm going to divide by 10, and I get 1/2 equals x. But the question isn't what fraction. 5 is what fraction of 10. It says 5 is what percent of 10. Well, 1/2, as you know from the top, is equal to 50%. So 5 is 50% of 10. You could also, to convert from fraction to percent, you can take your fraction, multiply it by 100. That'll give you the percent.